Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Eye to Eye Disney Through Our Eyes. This is a very special edition because, as you can see, it's just me here with you guys tonight. Jessica is not here. She's actually asleep right now. She goes to bed a lot earlier than I do. But this is an idea that she and I had talked about, possibly us coming on here, whether it be one of us or both of us at the same time, when something big happens for Disney, or something that we just can't get to in the normal week schedule that we have. We usually put out our videos together on Monday, and sometimes things happen during the middle of the week where it becomes less timely if we wait all the way till Monday to do it. So what we're going to try to do maybe is cover some of these things in very short, unedited, hardly edited videos where she or I or both of us get on here and talk about something that's a little bit more timely, so we can get our thoughts on it out to you guys more quickly than we normally are able to, thus making it a little bit more relevant for you guys. Because let's be honest, you don't want to see our reactions to a trailer that's been out for a week when you've probably watched it yourself about 5,000 times. Maybe it's just me. I did watch Thor Ragnarok like 5,000 times. Anyway, I digress. So tonight I'm going to try this out. We're going to do it maybe a couple of times and see if you guys like it. So let us know in the comments section below if you do enjoy this. But what I'm going to talk about tonight is the second to last episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., episode 21 in season 4. The finale will be next week. Tonight we're breaking out the setup. Just want to give my reactions to it and thoughts on what happened in it. So be forewarned, if you have not seen this episode, if you are not caught up at all in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., do not watch this video because I'm about to spoil everything. Well, most of it that I can remember this late at night. But basically, we have been in season 4 with several different storylines, whether that be the Darkhold, Ghost Rider, LMDs, now the framework, and an alternate reality, digital reality, which we're just gotten out of, where our main characters were thrust into it, have been living in the world where Hydra is the dominant force, and a very oppressive dominant force. Pretty much what we all expected what the world would have been like had Hydra had control of the United States / the world. And so they've broken out now, and our team is still split up. Agent Coulson and Agent May have awoken in their room that they're in, and all of a sudden they wake up, and who is it that they have got to fight? It's the Russian. That's all his name is. I know he has a name, but I can't think of it right now, and I probably couldn't pronounce it. The Russian's there. And we find out that he's able to create copies of himself and continue to do so because from a few episodes back, Ada chopped his head off and put it into a tank where he was able to control an avatar body and thus be able to function at a higher level physically and not ultimately get hurt. And now he's able to recreate these bodies of himself. They're trying to get out of that oil rig that they're stuck in. At the same time, we find Gemma, and I almost want to say Sky because we've been calling her that in the framework, but Daisy have awoken on the Zephyr with the rest of the kind of lower tier agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that are trying to escape hostile air fire right now. And they all do make it back together, going to rescue Agent May and Agent Coulson from the oil rig as they break out, fighting their way out. We also find out that the Russian was trying to sink the oil rig as he was getting away in one of his avatar bodies with his wherever his head is, because we don't know, he even referenced that. So we see them barely escape the oil rig as the torpedoes fire on it, bursting into flames, bringing it down. And we also, during this, have found out what happened to Fitz. And not Ada, technically, but Ophelia, which is her name from the framework, which is now her consciousness put into her new body through the aid of the framework, the Darkhold, what have you. And so a lot going on there. She has apparently imbued herself with the powers of several Inhumans, one being teleportation, Gorgon, who we've seen in a previous episode. He was, or Gordo, maybe I haven't. Anyway, one of the guys, the lower tier Inhumans who had teleportation powers. She's also can control electricity, apparently we learn at some point here. And, you know, I was really interested with how well they confused us with this episode, because I thought Ada was kind of, I said Ada again, Ophelia had, as she was experiencing the new human emotions, and with Fitz reasoning with her, she was going to go to the good side. And after they are brought back together with the rest of the team, what happens is Fitz convinces Ophelia to use her powers to help save his friends from the oil rig, that being Mac, keeping his consciousness intact, and his body, who's still in the framework, bringing it barely before the rig sinks. But they do end up tasing Fitz and Ophelia and throw them into that containment unit there, which is where things kind of go south. And Fitz is kind of coming to the realization of what he did in the framework and what Ophelia made him do. And now that he's trying to wrestle with the fact of the two realities, the real reality and the framework reality, and where he sits now with the two loves that he has, where he loved Ophelia in the framework, but he'll always love Gemma. And he even says that my heart can't have two loves. And the way he's phrasing things, you think he's going to stick with Ophelia, and then he says he chooses her, meaning Gemma, and you literally see Ophelia snap. And I just knew it was all going to break loose then, and it did. So Ophelia just went nuts, nearly tried to kill Fitz because of the anger of her rejection. Not knowing how to control all these things, goes on a rampage. At the same time, the agents have been stowed away in the remnants of their old base, which General Talbot and his units come in trying to take them down, thinking they're still LMDs. A lot going on here. I'm probably bouncing around, missing some details here, so forgive me for that. But there's a lot going on. And at the same time, Ophelia's going on a rampage. They all kind of escape and go out their separate ways. Ophelia transports herself back to where the Russian is, where they're kind of joining forces again to eventually, for this last episode, take everybody down. Everybody's kind of regrouping. Mac's still in the framework. We find the revelation that Yo-Yo has put herself inside the framework to try to go get Mac out, which is a very bad decision, because in the cutscene at the very end, we see that she's found herself in quite a predicament. Interested to see how that's going to play out. Have a feeling both those two are on death watch. If not both, at least one of them. I'll be surprised if both of them make it out of this season alive. I have a very bad feeling it's going to be Mac. I hope I'm wrong. And all that being said, I try to remember the last few things I wanted to talk about in this, but it was a really good episode. I honestly thought that this was the season finale tonight. I had it in my mind it was, and as they weren't wrapping things up towards the end, I was like, God, are they going to leave us on a cliffhanger? Are they going to pull The Walking Dead on us? They didn't, because this wasn't the season finale. But it's really interesting to see where they're going to go with this, because, you know, I think a lot of people have had a problem with the season with maybe it bouncing around a lot, but I've quite enjoyed it, surprisingly, with not knowing much about the LMD stuff from the comic books, even because I didn't really read the comic books and stuff like that. But Ghost Rider's back. We saw him in the wreckage. The machine that has the little portal came back to life and let him loose, so he's back to seek vengeance, it seems like. So we're set up for the finale of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm really excited next week to see how it plays out. And I really don't feel like we've seen that connection with one of the movies yet this year. I really don't, unless Doctor Strange, I guess, would be the connection with the Darkhold, but I always feel like the May movie, which would be Guardians of the Galaxy, so I don't really know how you tie that in. I mean, Spider-Man is coming up, but they'll be done long before then. Thor Ragnarok is way off. Anyway, I was hoping there'd be another movie tie-in somehow, but I just don't know how they work Guardians of the Galaxy 2 into all this. But that's my general thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. If you've seen it in the comments section below, I'd be happy to hear about those, and whether you liked it, what you liked. Did I miss? What did I miss? What did I talk about? The Simmons and Fitz feels are still there because of the turmoil that is their relationship. But let me know about all that in the comment section below. If you like me doing these kind of segments, let us know, and Jessica and I will think about doing a little bit more of these in the future. And make sure you're checking out all the other shows that we have on our YouTube channel, where we just released our review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So please do check that out. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, Facebook and Twitter. And that's all I have for you guys tonight. Until next time, I'll see you real soon.